2, 1.
Hi, I'm Danny Queen, and welcome to another exciting edition of Color Me Poetry. Today we have a lovely young lady with us, and she goes by the name of Kanikki. And that's a wonderful name. And give us your last name again.
Jakarta.
Jakarta, wow.
Jakarta's my middle name.
Middle name.
Uh-huh.
Wow. And she is a poet of the highest order. Not only that, but she is the poet laureate of Alexandria, Virginia.
Correct.
Wow. Now you know we had to talk about that, Kanikki.
Yes.
How'd you become the poet laureate?
It was a long road.
Really?
It was a very long road. They have a criteria. You have to write in, send 10 poems anonymously.
Really?
Then they have a panel that selects you from your poems, and then they look at what you want to offer in the position. So I had to write like an essay on what I would bring to the role of poet laureate, and then I had to interview in front of a panel, and then I came down to 3 finalists, and then I had to go back and interview again based on the criteria that they gave to us to write about, and then they chose me, and I took the position April of 2019.
Now, did you know any requirements beforehand before you applied?
Not really. Not really. They basically the only criteria that they gave was you had to be a poet and be. They didn't give a certain amount of years, but just a resident of Alexandria during your term, or work there or live there during your term.
A certain amount of time you had to live there. Wow, that's interesting because you told me that you were the only, thus far, African American that they've ever chosen.
That's right.
Were you surprised to know that?
I was, but I've known the other poet laureates before. I moved here to this area in 2000, so I knew that since I've been here since 2000 there hadn't been, but I wasn't aware in the beginning that there had been no African American poet laureates.
And so, as poet laureate of Alexandria, Virginia, what does that entail?
A lot. A lot. So basically, I'm the poet representative for the city. So politically, if they need someone to speak, then I would be the first person that they called on. In addition to that, I've also been doing poetry, providing platforms. I do workshops. So I've already been doing that. So Anyway, yep. Yeah. So I will be bringing what I was already bringing to the city, but to the city.
But you're also hosting also.
I hosted a Busboys and Poets in Shirlington, Virginia.
So what's that like, being a poet laureate of the city, and then also, hosting?
Hosting is fun.
Really? Why?
I can say that coming up in poetry, when I first moved here, introducing people, making them feel welcome. I know how I felt when I came, very nervous, but providing like a sacred space, providing comfortability for the people, letting them know I'm going to cheer them on. You can read. You don't have to be a performer. So it's a very fun, and it helps. It's helped me with like stage presence because my friend Lorna Pigney said that hosts are in charge of energy.
Yes, that's a good way to describe it.
Yes, she said.
So you can't be a low energy dragging around. You host some.
You bring it.
Yeah, you got to
provide the energy for the night. So if I go up there and I'm dragging, it makes the room drag. I host on Monday night. So Monday is like the worst night.
Yeah, I've been there with the Monday blues.
With the Monday blues. So I have to be like, you're off from work here. We're having a good time. But I always say if you don't have a good time, it's your fault. Because you came out, you paid your money, you look good.
Remind me of that old song that says, rainy days and Mondays. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Yeah. So as the host, you have to bring the energy. You got to bring the drive. It's kind of like, if I can draw an analogy, I'm a drummer. Okay, I'm a musician, I'm a drummer. As my engineer is a drummer. We keep the timing.
Right.
If your timing messed up, guess what's going to happen? Tell him, Tony.
It messes up everybody.
Yes.
Everybody. I used to be in the band now. I used to be in the band. I wanted to play the drums, but I was in the marching band. I was too small to carry it down the field.
To carry the drum?
Yeah, I carried down the field. So my music director was like, no, you need to play something else. I played clarinet.
Okay, it's easier to carry around.
Yeah.
Yes, but hosting is beautiful. I've seen people host. I've never hosted like a Busboys or anything, but I've been hosting these shows, for a lot of years now. So it's been a blessing, really. And I remember the first time I started. My director, Miss Vera Chesley, she would direct me, and I was nervous as a runaway slave. I mean, so to speak, because I was young, and what I'm gonna say, and write stuff, all of that. But you learn. but she taught me.
Right.
She taught me a lot, and I'm thankful for that. But your first time hosting, what was that like? Your very first time, flashback.
My very first time?
Yeah.
It's been a long time ago. That was probably like 2002, I want to say. But
Wow.
I grew up in Alabama, so I grew
Really?
up in the church.
You down home?
So
Southern girl.
Southern girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not a stranger to audience, being in front of the audience. My mom had me to do a lot of Easter speeches.
Really?
Be a lot of mistress of ceremonies, introducing people. So I had it. It was already in my blood growing up.
Yeah, you
So,
couldn't get away from it.
Yeah.
You did it in church
it.
and everything. Yeah.
I liked it. And I wanted to, when I first moved here, there was no weekend venues. And that's
Really?
still rare. You may have a weekend event, but not a weekly occurring venue. So I decided to do second Saturdays. It was in Silver Spring at this women-owned bookstore, Women Who Dare.
Oh, really? Are they still there?
They're not still there.
Oh,
They're
wow.
not still there. And it was in the basement. It was great. And I remember thinking after I did all the promotions, you know, back in the day before social media, you know, we had to beat the street with people with a flyer.
Right,
Say,
yes.
please come to this. I'm
That's
having
true.
this. Pass
Yeah.
flyer out to people in the street. So after that, then I
That
thought.
old school now.
The old school, yeah.
Yeah.
So then I thought, is anybody going to come to this? But I had a line down the street. So it was very
Wow.
encouraging.
That's a blessing. Now, what makes you've been writing for many years? How long you been writing? A long time.
I started writing when I was a child. I went to a private Christian school called Bethany Christian, and we had poetry as a competition. So we got this big book of poetry where we had to memorize the poem
Okay.
and recite the poem in front of your class. And then if you won out of your class, then it was for the rest of the school. Then if you won there, then you had the regional. So, and then it was like 5 people there. They were looking at the piece that you read to make sure that you read everything in the piece, that you paused where there was a comma, you know, that you had some stage presence to win. And I was winning a lot.
Oh, wow.
I was actually one of 4 black people who went to this all-white school. My brother was one of the other black people. And one year, this other girl beat me. So we had the same poem.
Seems you were born to be blessed.
I was born. I mean, my
You was born to be
mom
blessed.
read Nikki Giovanni poetry to me while I was in the womb.
Nikki just had a birthday too. I think she's like 74.
Yeah. I just had a chance to meet with her and talk to her this year.
Really?
Yeah, but actually
Oh,
my
I
name
didn't
came
know
from her
that.
name.
Really?
My mom was going to name me Nikki Giovanni because she liked her poetry back in the 70s.
Wow.
But she was like, I should probably give her her own name, so she named me Kanikki.
Oh, that's
So
where the cub came from.
That's where my name came from. So I was actually able to talk to her at American University, have a private conversation with her, and tell her, you know, my name came from that, and
Wow.
talk to her about being relevant. How do you stay relevant after all these years? Because she was a poet when I was in the womb. So I want to know, how did you stay relevant? She was like, it's all about consistency. So
It's all,
consistency.
yeah, it's consistency, but it's also being aware of the culture. What's the changes in the culture that's going around, that's around you as well?
Right. We're
Yeah.
the writers. So we're
Yeah.
the ones who write the history.
Well, yeah, we have our pulse
Yeah.
on everything.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, I was raised in, you know, I went to a Christian school too. It was called the School of Hard Knocks. It was a school of my father saying, do what I say, do,
Yeah,
boy.
yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
So, but writing has always been a part of you. Yes. Okay, let's share something. Whatever you might.
Oh, we're going to do a poem now?
Yeah, whatever.
Poem for
It's
the
a
people.
poetry show. Stop
Okay,
playing.
okay. Well, this is a poem that I've been doing. It's been a little bit more than a decade now. It's called Milk Drinking.
Okay.
So recently, I had an epiphany. A sudden manifestations of the essence of the meaning of being short. So I've decided I'm drinking milk in a blue milk carton, and written on the outside of it, it says silk. From here on out, I'm a ride and die chick. I will no longer be depressed. I'll be determined, or better yet, taller, and I'll exist in a new world of order, where the term holding me down will be replaced with holding me up. My cup runneth over, and the chip that you have on your shoulder, I'm knocking it off. And what? You ain't gonna do nothing. Isn't that what you said I was? Or was it nothing I was supposed to be? Titled me, baby mama in the projects, getting food stamps and welfare checks. But now I'm doing things that you wouldn't even believe. Instead of popping my collar, I'm popping my whole sleeve. Honey, please, you wish you could be me. when you were a problem starter. Looking at me through your eyes, no wonder I kept getting shorter. But now I'm a believer, an overachiever, a sister with skills, and still rocking 3-inch heels. And I would say that old cliche, I wish you can see me now, but in real life, I'm not even looking in your direction. I'm looking in the mirror at a beautiful God-made reflection, putting one foot in front of the other. So from now on, call me lover of life, Selah's mama, and Marquis' wife, doing everything through Christ that gives me strength. Philippians 4:13, call me queen, beautiful human being. I said I'm drinking milk now. I heard it does the body good. I'm doing everything impossible you had me thinking I never could. I've decided to no longer define myself with another person's definition. I had an epiphany, y'all, of my own existence.
Drinking milk.
Drinking milk.
Why drinking milk?
Drinking milk because milk makes you taller.
Oh.
Supposedly.
I forgot that.
Supposedly.
What does soda do?
I don't know what soda does. Make you hyper? I don't know.
Yeah. Wow, that's an interesting title.
Yeah.
How you tied all of that together?
Yes, because you know how people, they don't build you up, they bring you down, supposedly to build you up. They bring you down to build you up. So they say things negative so that you can prove them wrong. So I wanted to know that I proved them wrong.
Well, you certainly did. Wow.
Yep.
Especially with that. I think that's the beautiful thing about poets and poetry. We take the ordinary things and we bring it something different to it to make you see what's ordinary, but to see it in a different light,
Right.
a different perspective, if you will.
Right.
That's what poetry is. Now, you as a poet personally, what does poetry mean to you?
Poetry is everything.
Meaning?
Meaning is religion, is love, is passion, is therapy, is encouragement.
Yeah, it's definitely therapy.
It's everything. I mean, as a poet, you write from life experiences, not just yours but others. So that's why I say I write real life fiction, because even if I'm writing something that's not about me, I find that it's about other people. So it's somebody else's story.
So empathy.
Already. Empathy.
So they ain't got to be your experience
It
all the
does
time.
not. No.
You could have a close friend that's going through something. You say, "Girl, I feel you."
Yeah.
Say, when you're black people, we all say, "Yeah, I feel you."
People always tell me, my friends say, "Hey, write a poem about this. I'm going through this."
Really? They do that?
Yeah.
They want you to write about
you
their
to write about
experience.
it.
Oh, that's interesting. And you do that sometimes.
Sometimes I do it.
Yeah.
Or then you know how you're contracted to read poetry for different
Yes.
type of events. Then
Yes.
you write for that event. But then even writing for that, I found that some of the stuff that I've written has been somebody's life. Yeah.
Well, I was inspired to write a poem about certain things. And this one is simply entitled, Pay Me My Money. So
Pay Me My Money.
I was
I
inspired
like
to
it
do
already.
that.
I like it already.
Pay me my money.
Yes.
Just so you pay me all that I'm due. If you have to rob Peter to pay Paul, that's on you. I'm coming from all ends just to make ends meet. So I'm overworked, underpaid, and dead on my feet. Don't want to rain on nobody's parade, but I want what I need, and I'm trying to get paid. And if you don't have it, no, I won't try and understand. So pay me my money, all of my money, just as soon as you can. I can't help but to regret it, because sometimes it's gone before I get it. And if I had what's due to me instead of just making do, I could pay Peter, Paul, and Mr. Bobo too. Don't mean to rain on nobody's parade, but I want what I need, and I'm trying to get paid. And if you don't have it, no, I won't try and understand. So pay me my money, all of my money, just as soon as you can. Pay me my money. That's a reparations poem, y'all.
Yes.
Anybody ever owe you the money? Act like they don't.
And this and buy other stuff.
Yeah.
And then show you what they bought.
Yeah, come on, girl, go shopping with me and all that. You know she owe you some
Like,
money.
look, I bought these shoes. I'm like, you owe me $100.
Yeah, so they're my shoes. You might want to take them off now.
I need that recorded so that I can send it to people that owe me money.
Oh, I'm gonna give you my CD with it on it.
Yes,
I'm telling you.
please do. I'm gonna
Yes.
play it. I'm gonna play it for them.
Really, you would do that?
Yes.
Oh, you
That's
serious?
it's a great
Said-
song.
She didn't even hesitate. She said, "Yeah, I'll do that."
Yep, I
Yeah,
will.
it happens. It really does. But yeah, so I like to write about any and everything, and I see that with a piece like you just did, I'm like, wow, okay, and that's the beauty of what we do. So I want you to share something else.
Oh, something else.
Yeah, something else and something else.
Something else.
Yes, and then we also want to talk about your memoirs too.
Okay. Should I share something? Let's do a love poem. We like love.
All right,
Let's say
well,
passion.
come on with it. I like
Passion.
love.
Okay.
Love ain't crazy about me
Yeah.
though.
You gotta bring it to yourself.
Okay.
You gotta think positively.
I am thinking
Write a
positive.
poem about it.
I'm parsley
Write
and in
a
love.
poem. Write a poem about it, and then it'll come to you. You manifest it through
All right,
poetry.
I'm gonna bring it. Come on, go
Okay.
ahead.
I've heard that men are like hunters. Like to play seek and hide, so I've slowed down my stride just so you can catch me. Wet like water, so you can fetch me. Flexible, so you can stretch me. Didn't want to make this task too hard. Took off my camouflage so I can be seen in plain sight, so you can see what love look like. Wanted to appease your appetite. I made a trail for you. I threw rose petals at my own feet. I'm a fast-talking country girl, so I slowed down my speech. Running in this heat, increase my pheromone. Let me hear printing in your baritone. The clacking of my heels a monotone, a mating call stiletto. Increasing your heart rate with an echo. Take out your arrow. Be my cupid. Aim for me. Pierce me with your dagger. Create a swagger just for me. Change my first and last name to Alpha and Omega and howl it in your dialect. Baptize me with your sweat. Oh, but you have to catch me first. Pursue me like I'm your only religion. My body is the temple and I'm your church. Don't run too fast now. Don't want you to fall and get hurt. The maze to my heart may be a little bit much. You like to run right. Come on over in my direction. This is perfection at its best. Don't even take time to rest, because I've heard that men are like hunters. Let me be your prey, and I pray that you don't get tired.
Kanikki, how you write that poem?
Because it's about the chase for the men, apparently. It's about the
chase at them?
It's about the chase. Apparently the men like the chase.
Yeah,
But I said I'll slow down so you can go ahead and catch me. We have time to
I've done some chasing
run
on my
in,
own.
that's what I'm saying.
I had this friend of mine some years ago, and her name was Candace, and so we called her Candy. And she was always asking me when I was going to write something for her birthday. I'm like, your birthday?
See,
She'd
you
ask
got
me
friends
about,
too.
she asked me
Right,
about 100.
asking you.
Yes, about 125 years. She'd asked me to write this poem for her birthday. So what I did was I went into this was some years ago. I went into a 7-Eleven. I started writing down all these candy bars. I said, maybe let me try something. Let me try something different.
Okay.
So I came up with this title, and I dedicated to all the sisters, simply entitled "Chocolate City Candy."
I like it.
Just the taste of you makes my life so complete. Learning to love you is a special treat. The little loving things you do forever makes your honey sweet. You're good and plenty lover, just knocks me off my feet. You're my sugar baby, peppermint patty pearl. My M&M plain chocolate city candy girl. My lifetime lightsaber, Fifth Avenue, Lovers Lane Park. My butter-fingered whatchamacallit, set sweetness in the dark. Now and later, you'll always be my Mary Jane, my baby Ruth, my mounds of almond joy. Chocolate, honey, sweet tooth. Let me be your payday, sugar daddy galore. Your 100 grand, Mr. Goodbye for sure. And when you turn on your total Tootsie Roll chomps, your chocolate cherry kisses make me melt in your arms. You're my sugar baby, peppermint patty pearl. My M&M plain, chocolate city candy girl.
Nice.
That's real.
I love it. I love that it's Chocolate City
She
candy.
loved it
And
too.
Chocolate City because DC is Chocolate City.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she loved it. She married somebody else, but it's all good.
You didn't give it a poem?
I gave it a poem. She gave somebody else.
Oh, no.
This for my boo.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
It's all good. But what is it about love poetry that really turns you on?
It's what turns everybody else on.
Well, yeah, that too.
It really is.
Me included.
And I found that I write more love poetry when I'm not in a relationship.
Really?
I wrote more love back then. Yeah, because you're too busy being in love. You don't have time to write about it.
Oh, okay. I would think that's all one reason. Oh, yeah, that's interesting you say that. Yeah, but when you're out of love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want it. That's why I said write about it so you can bring it to yourself.
Wow, what make you say that? Because I never thought about it like
Yeah,
that. I mean,
manifest
you
it.
do it, but it ain't something you just, spend a lot of time thinking. But you just do it because it's in you to do it.
Yeah, I mean, poetry is love, so you got to have some love
is
poems
love,
in your
yeah.
repertoire.
Oh yeah, you got to have some. Yeah,
Have some.
yeah. I don't care what you talk about. You got
have
to
some love
bring some.
poem.
Yeah, you got to bring some love. And you can talk about social issues, whatever. Because poetry, we talk about any and everything.
Right.
Everything that's happening in the culture, but you really do have to have some love poems. What other things do you like to write about?
I like to write to inspire girls.
Okay, you got a
Okay.
piece like that?
Not memorized.
Okay,
But I have a book coming out.
talk
It's
about
called
that too.
Alabama
though.
Girl, Virginia Woman.
Really? Well,
Yes.
Alabama girls, Virginia
Alabama
woman.
girl, Virginia woman.
Wow.
I grew up in Alabama, and
Mhm.
Virginia raised me. I moved here. When I moved here and I saw that Virginia is for lovers slogan, I was like, winning. I won.
Oh,
I made
yeah,
it
I
to
remember they
Virginia.
used to say that. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. They don't say
So-
that so much anymore, do they?
What?
In Virginia? It's for
Virginia's
lovers?
lovers? Yeah, it's still our slogan.
Oh, yes, right, because when I was going across that Woodrow Wilson Bridge, that's
It's
Virginia
there.
for lovers.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
the slogan. So
Yeah.
Alabama the beautiful, Virginia is for lovers.
And
So,
poets.
Yeah, so I am definitely,
Mhm.
I have short stories
Mhm.
and poems in there as well.
Okay.
So this is going to be released on the 23rd of this month.
Oh, wow, and you're looking forward to it.
I am.
Yeah.
It's going to be my first poetry book. Actually, I've been writing fiction novels. I have 3.
Okay.
And so this will be my first poetry book in 17 years.
Really? Well, talk about your fiction also.
I have a fictional series. It's In Real Life, The Color Blue, and The Other Side of Pretty. It's going to be 5 books in this series.
Okay.
But
you haven't finished them yet?
I finished them.
Oh, you finished? Okay,
Published.
well, let's talk about it
Yeah,
then.
published already.
Let's talk about the
finished.
first one. Just give us a...
Basically, it's a book about, like, if I meet you,
Mhm.
and the book is about you, and I'm your friend,
Right.
then the next book, the book is about me, and you're my
Oh.
friend. So you get to see how everybody lives and why they are those people. So you get to get the backstory on people. You know how you meet people now and you don't know why they feel the way they feel.
Yeah.
But if you knew them for a long time, you would say, well, you know, poet Danny Queen, he writes about these certain things because of how he grew up and where he grew up, and he's from here, and they may know your history.
Right.
But then these books, you get to know the history of each
Oh,
character.
that's unique.
Yep.
That is so unique.
Yep. So they're all in the series. You can read them out of order, but then you might want to go back and figure out, well, why did this happen? Or why is this person acting this way?
Okay, so the second one is titled,
The Color Blue.
Why Blue?
I like
You
blue.
got on blue today.
I love blue. Blue is my favorite color.
If I'd have known a guy that wore something
You
blue
should
in
have
here.
worn something blue. Blue is my absolute favorite color. I try to sway away from it, but anytime I shop, I just go back to blue.
Yeah, I love red too, because red is hot.
Red.
Yeah, I'd love to see black women in red.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've tried to
Sometimes-
incorporate a little red in there. I'm a blue and brown and purple. I put purple in there too. So I have a purple book too.
So when I see a sister in some hot red, I say it's cold red out here, y'all.
Yeah, it looks good on our skin color.
Yeah.
Red does.
And so the next book is entitled what?
This
The
is
third one.
the
You
third.
said there were 3.
Oh, The Other Side of Pretty.
Oh, why? Wow.
The Other Side of Pretty can be anything. Could be beautiful. Could be ugly.
Wow.
We don't know. But there's a lotus flower on the front of it, and you know lotus flowers grow from mud, and they're pretty flowers. So so the idea is if you can take the mud in your life, all the dirt, and make it into something
It makes
beautiful.
something beautiful. Wow. That's beautiful. Oh, I love the way you think. When is your birthday?
January 7th, Capricorn.
Oh, Lord have mercy. One
Are you
to
a
another.
Capricorn?
Hey,
Hey,
right on the air. Come on with it now.
Yes.
Capricorn's at our house.
Capricorn.
Oh, I'm excused. I ain't supposed to act like that.
Who knew?
Yeah, December 27th.
Okay.
Yeah. Capricorns are good people.
Yep.
Don't embarrass you, though.
Very caring.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
caring people, but don't make
Yes.
us mad.
Oh, I tell people, when you make a Capricorn mad, you're going to feel the earth move beneath your feet.
You
Believe
better
what
let
I'm
'em
telling
know.
you.
You better
And
let
do
'em
not
know.
embarrass me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right now.
That's the truth. That is
Yes.
the
Wow, I had no idea. So you said the 7th.
truth. 7th.
You like to travel.
I do.
Yes. Sometimes people think they know you and they don't.
No. I tell people, you only
You
know
tell them up front.
you only know people. You only know something about me unless I told you.
Wow.
That's the only way you know.
Yeah, well, my grandmother used to always say, never tell people things you don't want them to know. And that always stuck with me. And I love what Maya Angelou said. So she said, when people show you who they are,
Believe them.
believe them.
The
I-
first time.
the first time.
That's the part of the quote
Yeah.
that people leave out.
Not when they tell you.
When they tell you, the people when they quote Maya Angelou, the quote is, "When people show you who they are, believe them the first time."
Yes,
and that's the
the
part
first time.
people leave out.
Yeah, they do.
You know, because
Uh-huh.
you be like, people will tell you, you know, especially men, they be like, "I'm a dog." And you be like, "No, you're not. You such a great person." You know, no. If you say that's who you are,
If you say-
I'm gonna believe you.
Right. Well,
The
you
first
said
time.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't say it.
The first time.
Yeah, that's beautiful because I have a lot of her work too. And I got like 4 or 5 of her CDs. And one of them is
Yeah.
like a double set. Yes.
Nice.
Yes. And wow. And I'd be glad to make a copy. You love Maya?
I love
You
her.
Maya?
I do.
I got you.
I do.
I'm gonna make it.
I have a whole section on my in my bookshelf of Maya Angelou's poetry.
Wow. And I also saw the documentary on her life too. Just oh man, it's
It's
just
amazing.
so deep. And
She's
I read
an amazing person.
She was, no question. And then I read her memoirs. I Know What a Cage Bird Sing years ago, and it was just man, it was just something else when I thought about it. Yeah, and
The way
so
that she puts words together is.
well, yeah, but the way you put words together as well.
Well, thank
has,
you.
Has been
Thank you. My daddy used to always recite Maya Angelou's poetry.
Really?
And I did, but he used to say it like it was his own, so I never knew that it was Maya. And
Oh,
so
really?
when I started to read, I was like, "Hey,
That's
this
it
is
right there.
Maya. Yeah, this is Maya." So he's like, "Well, I figured one day you figure it out, that you'll find her one
Be
day."
that way sometime. Yeah, but poetry for you, the gift of poetry, I can feel it. When you hear people read, you can feel that this person's sincere. You know, they coming from the heart. And then when people are not, you've also feel that
can
you're
feel
like,
it.
okay.
Yeah, that you're trying to just
Yeah.
use it as being
Yeah.
a superstar.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that. You want to be true to the art
Yeah,
form.
it's
That's
just like
the beauty of
music
it.
when you feel like you can
You feel
feel people's pain or struggles, or you can feel it. Like when the music comes on, you can actually feel it.
Who do you like musically?
I like James Brown.
James Brown, what? I got to feel it.
I like James Brown. James Brown. I
Like a dull knife, just ain't cut.
I grew up on it. My dad was a James.
Really?
My dad was a James.
You're a
Brown
country
fan.
girl down
Yes,
home.
I'm down home. You know,
What
I
did Frankie
like
Beverly
blues,
say?
I like-
Southern girl.
I like Frankie Beverly and
What?
Mays.
Wow.
And I like
love
B.B.
Maze.
King.
Really?
Yes. I like
Wow.
Michael Jackson.
I love Bibi. Yeah.
Jill Scott.
Jill. Yeah.
India Arie is one of my favorites.
I love India.
India.
She's so unique.
She is what we
So
call
unique.
slept on.
Yes.
You know what I mean? She's
Heck of a
amazing.
lyricist.
She's amazing.
She is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, she
she's
is.
amazing. And she's a musician.
And she's a great lover of Stevie Wonder also. Yes, yes. Is there a close correlation between, say, like poetry and maybe a song lyric? Do you
Song
think?
lyric?
Yeah. What is there a difference between a poem and a song lyric? I know they can be, but is there a big difference to you? Or can they be one and the same
They
at
can
times?
be one and the same.
At times.
Because when you hear people, you can say, "Oh, that's," you hear someone singing about something. That's like, that's poetry.
Okay, poetry and rap, hip hop.
Yeah, poetry. I think a lot of MCs are poets. Yeah, but they just put it to,
Yeah,
the
rhythm.
cadence. They got the cadence to go with it. Yeah.
That's the difference. Well, that's one of the major differences. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could have been a rapper.
Really?
Yeah, it would have been good. Female rapper. But
I remember.
can't
Remember? Well, you might not remember, but when I was coming up, my brother bought me an album of Nicky Giovanni. He bought me an album of Malcolm X, and he bought me an album of. Well, he bought it for me. He bought it to the house, and I started playing it. Of The Last Poets.
I love The Last Poets.
Really?
Yeah,
New
my
York,
dad.
New York.
my
the
dad had a-
Big Apple.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the part when they say Statue of Liberty is a prostitute.
You know it. You know.
Your dad introduced you to that.
He did. My dad introduced me to The Last
Wow.
Poets. Yep.
How old were you then?
I don't remember.
Your dad was conscious.
Young.
Wow.
My dad tried to introduce me to Tupac, but I was already on.
You know?
He was like, "Do you know it?" I was like, "I know Tupac. I know Afeni. I
You
know
have any
his
pieces
mama."
by Pop that you like?
Is this a family
Dear
show?
Mama?
Is this a family show? Well, Dear Mama. I love Dear Mama. Let's
we
stay
try
with
to
that.
keep it clean, but
Yeah,
I
this is a family show.
understand.
Yeah, but I think you can see
Me Against the World.
how he was,
Yes.
how he was raised through his work.
Well, yeah,
You
but
can hear his mom and what he went through.
his mom and dad, they were Panthers.
Yep.
Yeah, so he read a lot. He said he read a lot coming up,
Yep.
which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I was watching an interview for him, and he was saying that his voice, I'm paraphrasing, may not change the world, but listening to him is gonna spark the voice of someone who will change the world.
I think about his piece, Brenda's Baby. Oh, man, when I first read it, I was like, wow. Whew.
Yep.
It
I just love it. Keep your head up. He had
your head up, yeah.
he had
Yeah,
inspiring
yeah.
stuff as well.
Oh, no question.
Yep.
No question. Now, let's talk about your memoir,
Yes, let's do.
and it's called,
It's called A Peace of Mind,
Okay.
M-I-N-E, because
Okay.
peace belongs to you,
yes.
like mine. How to be the wife of an epileptic, honor your vows and honor yourself. So my husband was diagnosed with epilepsy when he was a child, before he met me, I think 18. So he had epilepsy when I met him. So we've been through a lot of hospital visits with seizures and
Oh, wow.
for years. And I talk about in the book how each chapter is a vow. So how to honor that vow.
How many chapters?
I don't know.
No, take it up. Go ahead and take it up.
I don't know.
Because you want to, if you
Because-
like, you can do a reading from the if you like.
Let's see. I was going to find out how many chapters it was. Yeah, but just about how you talk about like forsaking.
Give us some of the headings of the chapters.
Forsaking all others.
Okay.
If you talk about forsaking all others, you don't think about when you forsake those people, it might be yourself. So before you go into marriage, you have to think about, at sometimes you have to put yourself on the back burner to be there for that person. And talk about how all the good things come first in vows, like, you know, but in sickness comes before health. So nobody ever thinks about that. And I mean, it could be from a cold to something more serious, you know, so you have to really. So
did you guys write your own vows?
We didn't write any vows. We just got up there and said
whatever.
We said whatever was on our heart that day.
Well,
people would look, because we're both poets. People were looking for poems. Like, they're gonna do a poem. We're like, no, we're
not. They were looking for.
They were looking for it.
Oh wow, that's a beautiful thing, though.
Let's see. Let's find something from a chapter in here.
Okay.
Okay. Chapter number 9.
Okay. And it's a title?
In sickness.
Okay.
Sickness means not in good health. Wives, take care of yourselves as if you were caring for your husband and your children. We, nurturing women, are known for caring for our families and putting ourselves on the back burner. In sickness, as a vow, can simply mean having the flu. Will your family function if you have the flu? What if something more serious happens? You are vowing that when your spouse is not in good health, you will be there to take care of him and her no matter what. Let us also consider the spiritual sickness that can show up in fear and anxiety, resentment, anger, blame, and or depression. Heal not just your body, heal your thoughts as well. Health is not promised. Make it a priority because you want to live a long, healthy life together.
Wow, how beautiful.
Yep. And then I have the bowl here that tells you, giving you a little bit about epilepsy and letting you know what those myths are and what having epilepsy mean. But I mean, when I wrote the book, I really didn't think about it can help people who are getting married, because it gives you a glimpse into what marriage
especially
really
if you know
is.
anything about it.
Yes. Yes.
Now, what are some of the chapters that you had? Are they different chapters?
They're different
chapter heads. Just give us some of the titles.
For richer.
Okay.
And then,
I like that part, richer.
Yep.
The poor part on its own. I like the richer part.
Or for worse. For worse.
That part is on its own too. But anyway.
To hold.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
To have.
Yes.
To hold. So everything is a vow. And I talk about those vows. You know, I take you to be my husband. We talk about those specific vows. Like, what does that
and so you
exactly
deal with each
mean?
one of those
each
in
vow.
an essay. Okay. Wow.
Each vow. And then there's a story, you know, letting you know.
What's the process writing this, Kanikki?
Let me tell you. Number one, I didn't want to write this book.
Okay.
Because if you ever had to be a caregiver for someone, you know, when times are good and it's a happy time, you don't want to think about being sick.
Right.
And so I didn't want to put a focus on that, you know, but God told me to write this book, said it will heal me, it will help heal others. And I had so many, you know how when you get these so many testimonies, people say, I had a dream that you wrote a book about being the wife of an epileptic. Or, you know, there was a lady in the store one day. No, I don't know the lady. She just told me, you didn't do what God told you to do. You didn't write that book.
Wait a minute, how'd that come about?
I don't know.
Where did that come from?
It was the Lord. That's why I say, and I wrote about it in the book.
Could have been an angel.
I wrote, So God wanted me to write it, and I couldn't finish poetry. And I said, I guess once I finish this book, I will. And I started off writing it like I wrote fiction. And I was like, oh, guess I have to scrap that and start over. I was 6 chapters in, scrapped all of that, prayed about it, and then it came to me to focus on the vows.
So, what's the title of this book? Let's hold that up so we can get a picture of that.
Okay, I was like, where are we at?
Can you get that, Tony? Yes. And give us the title.
It's A Peace of Mind, M-I-N-E, How to Be the Wife of an Epileptic. Honor your vows and honor yourself.
This is so important because you never know what other people might be. I'm sure there's plenty of people who've gone through the same thing or maybe going through the same thing. And so it's a life guide.
Yep.
Wow, that's so important. And how long it's been out?
I published it technically in 2017, released it in 2018.
You've done well. Yes. it's unique for a poet. I had never known a poet to do that. But it's needed. It's so, and it's great because that's so necessary because you never know.
You never know.
Right, which may come your way. And so a book like that is so important. And I love the cover. Talk about the cover.
My husband designed this cover.
Oh, really?
I wanted to do something with the epilepsy ribbon. So if you open up the back, you can see that it's the ribbon.
On the back.
On the back. It goes into the ribbon.
Now,
and how epilepsy, the rings, how the ring epilepsy is tied into our marriage. So we put the rings here as well.
Oh, yeah, the male and the female. Now, do me a favor. Can you read the back cover?
Let's see. What do I have on the back? What happens after you say I do? In marriage, you share everything. The one thing that you have that belongs to you and you solely is peace. If you are planning to marry, you should know that the person you say I do to is not the same person that you are married to. Spouses changes, and those who are wise know that if you are flexible, then you're less likely to be bent out of shape. Examine the marriage and vows with Kanikki Jakarta, a poet and author who wrote a letter to God asking for a husband who needed her and got just what she asked for. Profound and prophetic, you will laugh, you will cry, and you will obtain the answer to the reasons why. Kanikki Jakarta leaves no stone unturned in this glimpse of balancing the art of maintaining peace in marriage and in sickness and in health. This may not be your typical how-to book, but you will want to know how this wife juggles it all. In the end, you will learn that your spouse does not belong to you. The only thing that is yours solely is peace, and a peace that is yours is worth the journey.
How beautiful. I am because God is.
Yes.
Because of the God force within me, He is mine and I am His. For I am what I am, all because God is. God is my heavenly Father from up on high and above, for He's the life of all spirit and the spirit of heavenly love. And when I find that I'm in need of heaven's intensive love and care, I just bow my head and whisper a prayer. And when life suddenly smiles upon me with a frown and all my ups start to look down, I put my trust in God because He's always around. My God is forever mine as I am eternally His. For I am what I am, all because God is. God is in that system.
Yes.
He's in your mission. He's in your work. And know that you're born to be blessed. I'm telling you. Because this here, I'm just really impressed with that because I've never met a poet who's written a book like that. And I never thought about it. I mean, it hasn't been my experience. So yeah, you never know what you can do.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And when you do what God says do, all the blessings belong to you.
Yes. And sometimes we have a tendency to lie to ourselves. You know, when you lie to yourself, it doesn't go anywhere. It probably ain't supposed to go anywhere.
Right.
Until you be honest and truthful with yourself. God said do it, and you went forth.
And I did it. Yeah.
And you did it. And the angel tapped you on the shoulder said, "Did God tell you to do that?"
Yes.
What's wrong with you?
So I did it, and it has been blessing people. I mean,
Yes.
one lady, she inboxed me on Facebook and said I saved her marriage with this
Really?
book. She said
Oh,
she was getting ready
wow.
to leave her husband, and she realized that she wasn't communicating with him on what it is that she needed out of the marriage, and she had been with him for 18, 19 years. They had kids and everything, and she said she was reading this book, mad at him, reading in the bathroom, and came out and told him about how she felt like he didn't have her back. Because, we have different love languages. So the way that we show love is not necessarily, this the myth of treat people how you want to be treated. But you have to treat people how they want to be treated.
Too,
if you
yeah.
don't, they don't accept that as love. So after she gave him that example, he said, it'll never happen again.
Wow.
And she said, that saved her marriage.
And she said all of that on Facebook.
Yep, she inboxed me on Facebook and said, this book has saved my marriage.
That's a beautiful thing.
And I mean, the fact that she started with this book has saved my marriage, let me know right then that was the confirmation because God said this book will save marriages. And I know of one definitely that it did save.
So I'd like to dedicate this poem to all the sisters, to all the women of the world. This is called Without Woman, a poem for all women of the world. Woman, as the mother of man, represents the power of the Almighty's hand. Through all the love, joy, pain, sorrow, and strife, woman is the lifeline to all human life. For where there's no she, there can be no he. And where there's no us, there could be no we. Only through the womb of woman's body and mind can man see himself in another place and time. There can be no woman, there could be no man. Without woman is co-creator in God's master plan. For he who is without woman can never be made whole until he's learned to love from the depths of his soul. And though love can sometimes make you cry, yet while you laugh, man and woman will always be each other's better half. For where there's no she, there can be no he. And where there's no us, there could be no we. Without woman.
Yes.
Mm.
That's true. You tell them the truth.
I got to tell
the truth.
sister.
Like they say, tell the truth. Shame the devil.
I got to tell the
Tell
truth.
the truth. Shame,
I mean,
shame
the devil ain't no speaker to it. But you notice the devil ain't never been unemployed.
Busy. Hey, the Lord
Yes.
ain't either though.
Yes,
The devil
that's
is busy,
true.
but the Lord ain't
Yes.
retired either.
No, he ain't retired.
That's true.
Now, is there another piece you want to share?
Sure. I think
But
we
before you share another piece, tell us where we can get the book.
my website.
Okay.
And also my new book is on the website as well. It's kanikkij.com.
Okay.
KANIKKIJ.com.
And the new book is titled again.
Alabama Girl, Virginia
I
Woman.
love that title.
Yes.
I'm about to write a song or something with that girl.
You have to come to my book release.
Yes.
Yes, it's the
Make sure
23rd.
you let me know. You
Yes.
know where it's going to be yet?
Yes, it's at the Athenaeum.
Oh, put it out
201 Prince
there.
Street.
Say it one
201
more
Prince
again.
Street in Alexandria. Hey, I'm giving away free tickets.
Okay.
Great Publishing at yahoo.com. Just email. Say I want my tickets. Where's my tickets? I want to come to anything of that nature. I'll give you some free seats.
Okay. Because,
Yeah.
I'll call you. Kanikki, stop playing, girl.
Yes, come on through.
Come
It's
on,
gonna
get
be-
my
it's gonna be
tickets.
great. It's going to be great. I'm going to read some short stories, do some
Okay,
poetry,
great.
perform, read. It's going to be good.
Family, friends, and
Yep.
good poetry.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we'll make that a date. Yeah, no question. Okay, so share another piece that you want to share.
Okay. This one is entitled Life Science.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, when you finish, why you write that poem.
I know.
I like to hear the stories, because there's always a story
I
behind
know.
what we
That's
write.
why I put the short stories in the book, so you can also know,
Yeah, that way.
Yeah.
Okay, come on with it.
Okay. In mathematics, two negatives make a positive. But in real life, these two things don't add up. You can wish your way to luck and get stuck in wishful thinking. Keep sinking right back into the hole that you dug for yourself. Keep blaming someone else for the mistakes that you keep making, forsaking sanity by doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Keep saying that you have bad luck, passing the blame, but never thought of blaming your decisions. You remember the ones that put you in this position, the ones that have you wishing for someone else's life when you're not even living your life right. You better get it together. Some things just don't add up. If you've been through the same things more than twice, you need to subtract some negativity from your life. Start asking yourself how and why, and start adding positive things that will multiply. Think intently about your situation, figure out the problem in your equation, and consider the problem might be you. You may be the reason that you keep going through the same things that you're going through. But here's the good news. You are in control of you. So the same way that you got yourself into this negative situation, you can maneuver yourself to positive with a little bit of illumination. Trust yourself. You are your best reliance. Life is complicated, but it is not rocket science.
Come on with it. Why you write that poem?
It was about me. You know how
You were
keep
looking at
doing-
self.
Yeah, looking at self.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to take some blame, and
What did Michael Jackson say?
you have to. Which one? What Michael said? Michael Jackson said, "Hold
The
on."
man in the mirror.
The man in the mirror.
Or the woman in the mirror.
Yes, you
Yeah.
have to look at it and look at
Yes.
why you're in this situation. Okay, why am I in this money situation? Why am I in this relationship situation? You have to look at yourself, because you are always that person in the equation.
You're in charge.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're in charge of your own. You manifest. You manifest for yourself.
And that's what brings me to this piece here. Stop lying. Because sometimes we lie to ourselves.
Come on now.
If you tell one lie, you got to tell two. Then before you know it, lying is second nature to you. Where there's no truth, where there's no foundation of truth on which to stand, living a lovable lie is like walking on quicksand. And there ain't no way naked truth can ever fly on the wings of a well-dressed lie. A lie told on the truth is not something you can defend, because truth crushed the earth will always come up again. So let the truth be your guide and your lust to tell a lie, and you will find that you can stop it if you try. For if you lie to yourself, you lie to any and everybody else. And there ain't no way naked truth can ever fly on the wings of a well-dressed lie. Because if you tell one lie, you got to tell two. Then before you know it, lying is second nature to you. Stop lying.
What I like about your poetry is a message,
The message.
It's a message.
Well, all poetry should be.
but it's not.
Well, yeah.
All
Well,
poetry is not messages.
well, yeah.
You're gonna take something from everything that you read. You're gonna take something from it.
Well, yeah,
Well,
it's
that
just,
I've heard
yeah, it's
somewhere,
just,
yeah.
well, yeah, that's always been my trait. Because I think you should say something, even make no difference how subtle it may be. but it has to say something in some kind of way. Or a master's, or I mean, that's just for me. And I certainly don't speak for all poets, but yeah, I try to be simple, you know.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it is, you know, like I said, now I see a lot of poetry, and it's not all, you know. You're giving your poetry is giving something to, you know what I mean? Giving something to the listener every time.
Well, you know, there's but I think there's probably as many different styles as there are people who write poetry. I met all kinds of. I mean, wow, man, and I'm sure you have met hosting. Being a
Yeah,
host
you meet all
yourself,
kind of
you meet all kind of
people.
poets
Yeah.
who come all kind of different directions.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true, and then all kind of subject matter as well. Yeah, what kind of poets have you met in your sojourn as a host?
You meet the love poet. You meet the slam poet. You meet the message poet. You meet the competitive poet. You know, they want to be better than everybody.
Yeah.
You meet the real.
And that's their goal.
Yes.
That's their one goal.
That's
to be
their
better
goal.
than everybody.
And then you meet those ones that are genuine to themselves. You know, you got
Yes.
the spiritual poet. You
Yes.
know,
That's
so
it.
some people who are unique to just writing about their own journey. You know,
Right, and we're all on the journey.
Yep.
Wow, that's interesting you put it that way, because I've never been a poet who just do what I do because I want to be better than somebody else.
Right.
That's
Some
that's
people
never
you
been.
can tell.
That's never been my
They
goal.
want the recognition poet.
Yeah, and that's why I never really, I don't knock it, but that's why I never really slam, because I don't want to be in competition with another poet. That's not who I am. And it's fine, because it all helps promote the art form. And you get some great stuff. Competition sometimes bring forth great stuff.
It's good. It brings forth some money.
It does. Well, it brings
Yeah, it
forth.
could bring forth money if you're good at it.
Is big money in slams nowadays?
Over the years, it has been. If people are slamming right now, I don't know. Like for good money, I don't know of it right now.
But they have.
But back in the day, we used to have like $500 slams,
What?
$1,000 slams, $2,000 slams. So
Yeah, I heard
you
of
could
a
you can make
$5,000
rent money.
slam.
You can make good rent money on.
Now, when they do that, do they have like 1, 2, maybe 3 prizes?
Sometimes they do.
Okay.
They have like a second prize and a third prize. Yeah.
So say if it's 5,000, then I might get what, 200?
If it's 1,000,
if
your
I'm
second
on
prize
second.
might get 200, and the
Okay.
third prize might get 100.
And
It's
fourth prize,
It's a big
go
fourth
get
prize. You get
$25.
to come back again.
Oh, you get to come back. Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't
They
get no
to come
money.
back again. You get your money. You don't get any money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been to slams, but I've never hosted any. You know, I just sit and just enjoy it.
I
You know?
posted it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does it feel like when you hosted the slam? I mean, just
You
being the
can't be
host.
biased.
Right, yeah.
You know,
be
you can't
biased,
give your
yeah.
opinion on the
Yes.
person. You have
One
to
way
get
or the
the
other.
score. Yeah, you just have to get the score. So
Oh,
whereas
okay.
when you're hosting regular open mic, I can say, like I said to you, I really like your poetry. It's message poetry.
Right.
You're giving, you know, so you don't want to sway the judges.
Right.
So you're just being.
But if I was
basically-
slamming, you couldn't say that.
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
No.
Wow.
Right.
That's interesting. And so the judges play an important part in that as well.
The judges are.
They can be biased.
usually- Yeah, they can be.
Well, that's why they judge, I guess. Yeah,
They
so-
could be.
yeah. Wow, that's interesting. Really is. Like I said, to me, it all promotes the art form. You know, really. Now,
It does,
what?
yeah, it does.
Now, so what's coming up for you, Kanikki?
Of course, the book is coming up, and I'm doing the DC crawl in September.
Crawl,
The
what's
book-
that?
the book- It's a book crawl. I think they're doing like different.
Tell me about the crawl.
They're doing now. I don't know a whole lot about it because I've never been, but apparently
Okay.
it's like different venues where you go from venue to venue and hear a different audience.
Oh, and they call it the crawl?
They call it the crawl because you're going from one place to the other.
Oh,
Yeah,
you pay
so
for
that's
crawling?
September. No, you don't pay for crawling. They pay you to crawl.
Oh, they pay you to crawl.
They pay
Oh,
you.
I've been crawling for a while then.
You have to pay to go to the event, but
And then
you, know,
you get
they pay
paid to
the
crawl.
artist. They pay
Oh,
the
that's
artist.
beautiful. I never heard of that before. Wow, that's innovative.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been crawling on this venue for a long time, y'all, since the 90s, early 90s.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, my knees worn out by now. But anyway.
Yeah, and I host a women's writers work group.
Okay, let's talk about
It's
that.
called Write Like a Woman.
Okay.
The next one is the 21st of September. It's the one
Now-
I do it quarterly.
So what is that about?
So it's just a women's writers teacher. It's for
Okay.
the amateurs. It's for the
Okay.
professionals.
Young
But you know, to
sisters.
get together and well, not young. I say 18 through 100.
To 100.
Mhm.
Ooh,
Very
wow.
mixed
That's
crowd.
beautiful.
Very
Right.
mixed crowd. So I've been doing it for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I do it quarterly. So the September 21st is the last one.
Well, let me say congratulations on your office
Thank you.
of the lawyer for Alexandria. I mean, that's quite an honor, though, isn't it?
It is. It
Yeah.
is. And
Were
I
you
love
surprised?
Alexandria. That
You won?
I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't.
Me too.
I would have
really.
been surprised if I didn't, because I do
Wow.
a lot of work.
You were
there
doing it
in the
anyway.
city. Yeah, I do a lot of work in
Yeah.
the city, and I don't. Other than the poet laureate that was
Mm-hmm.
there then, I don't think I'm the only other person that was doing a lot in
Mm-hmm.
the city. So,
So you've been doing it anyway. Now, is that a paid position?
very little small stipend.
I'll take it.
Yeah, more prestige than.
Yeah, well, it's
than
good
pay.
though. Yeah, that's good. But that's quite an honor. How many people?
Yeah, and
you know,
I think
consider
it's
it?
great too, because it helps me to provide a platform
For other people, yes. For other people, not just young people, but poets in
Exactly.
general.
Poets in general,
Yeah.
artists in general. Yep.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this show, Color Me Poetry. Poets in particular, artists in general, because I've had musicians and dancers and actors and all kind of artists on,
Right.
but poets in particular, but the arts in general, really is.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's been such a great pleasure having you here. Since we're gonna get you
Thank
back
you.
when you get that new book.
Yes, give me back some more.
Yes, give me some.
Yes.
Yeah, come on back, and we definitely talk about the new book and what you're doing. And again, congratulations
Thank you.
on the Port Laureate. This is the second week. We had Sister Joy Alpha then last week,
Yes,
and
yes.
she's the Port
Washington,
Laureate of
Prince George's County.
yes. Yeah, she corrected me. I said PG. She said Prince George's
George's, yeah.
County. Yeah, okay.
That's true.
Yes,
That's true.
and so that's great to have two Port Laureates in 1 month. Of course, I didn't know that you were a Port Laureate, but it's all good and it's beautiful because you're doing a wonderful job promoting the arts. And so we've been talking with Kanikki Jakarta, and it's been wonderful. And she is the Port Laureate of Alexandria, Virginia. We thank you for coming. I'm Poet Danny Queen. Until next time, Color Me Poetry. Peace. Shalom Alaikum. Peace, love.